My name is Elizabeth Pampalone, and I'm going to talk to you about reviews. So the first thing I want to say about reviews is they're going to be everywhere. There's Google, there's Facebook, there's LinkedIn, there's F6, you could have reviews on Yelp, you could have reviews on your website, there's so many different places that reviews could come from. It's really hard to keep track of everything. So here's a little simple trick that I have devised for my own business. It's really helped me keep track of where reviews go and how to evenly disperse them throughout all of my different ways I could be reviewed. So I try to attach a different service to each system that I use for reviews. So I do use Google Maps, I use LinkedIn, Facebook, and my own website. That's 4 different places that I could be reviewed. Now, with that, I try to, like I said, stick to a service. So with Facebook, a lot of that is people who I use like Facebook groups a lot, and I'm in a lot of groups and I answer a lot of questions. And so those reviews really need to be tailored to people who are looking at some of my in-a-day services or who just need some advice and just need some consulting. So that's where I kind of funnel those types of reviews. Another thing I use Facebook for is when I answer questions that are free. We all do this. You know you do it. You get someone who you really want to help and you just say, okay, I will help you for free. But instead of just helping someone for free and letting it be that, I ask them, hey, in payment, in return, all I ask is you send me a review, because usually at that moment they're super happy. They're super happy you helped them for free, and they are willing to just take the 5 minutes and review you right away. Maybe use that for a platform that doesn't get reviewed very often. Maybe you forget about LinkedIn. Use your LinkedIn for that and say, hey, can you review me on LinkedIn? Here's the link. But try to make sure it's where those people are. So you don't want to use LinkedIn for your residential customers if you have those, because they may not have LinkedIn, but they have Facebook, or they have Google Maps. They could definitely do Google. So, kind of take something that you do all the time, something you know you're going to want to review for, like free work or free consulting, or like my in a day products. We have website in a day, social media in a day, things like that. And I have a lot of people have reviewed me on Facebook for that. And for websites, I actually use people who have physical locations, because not all my website clients have a physical locale. Someone else who's on Google Maps, I have them review me so that their Google Maps thing kind of shows up on mine as well, so people see that I have local clients too and not just international. So kind of using reviews for what you're using them for. Kind of like with my social media philosophy, I would say, that you don't use social media the way they tell you to use social media. You use social media the way that you should use social media. And so I do the same thing with reviews. I use Facebook for my free stuff and for my in-a-day products, my lower end products that are just for that like getting started person, that person who's just like startup. And then I use LinkedIn for my professionals that are 2, 3, 4 years in business, and they can see other professionals who are 2, 3, 4 years in business and up, and they're reviewing me on there. And then on my website, I have reviews for specific products. The reviews on my website are really for where I want people to have a certain feeling. I want that certain, element when you arrive on a website, what that review says, how it makes you feel when you read it, and what that makes you do for the next step as you're reading through the website. So those I hand pick, and they might be from an email, they might be from a Facebook, they might be from LinkedIn, they might be from somewhere else, but they're specific reviews that I've hand chosen to be on my website. So I don't just let reviews kind of flow to my website. I use the other sources to kind of hand pick for that. But for the others, for Facebook, like I said, startups are my reviews for startups are there, and I send my startups there when they inquire about my services. And then my reviews for professionals who have longer years in business, I send them to LinkedIn. And then with Google Maps, it's just one of those where I want people to see local. So I ask local people to review me on Google Maps, not necessarily someone who's from Canada and I'm from Jacksonville, Florida. So that's how I use reviews, and I hope that this video has been helpful for you. And if you have any questions about reviews, please feel free to reach out through our contact form that is on this website. And if you have any requests on other information about reviews, I'd love to talk with you about that and maybe do another video. I'd love to get your requests for videos on reviews if you want more information. And I'll say one last thing about reviews. Depending on the industry, this is a little tricky part. You may or may not be able to do contests for reviews. So let's say if you review us, then we'll give you a $10 gift card, because that's basically paying for a review. In a lot of industries, it's frowned upon, and even illegal in some industries. So what we want to do with that is, if you really want people to give you reviews, find out when they're at the height of their, oh, I'm so happy with you, you did the best work ever, we want to call you back, we're going to have you back. Find out when they're at the height of that. And that's when you ask them for the review. I have even been in front of someone, physically in their presence, and opened up my phone or said, hey, can I borrow your phone really quick? Do you mind if I pull up my review on Facebook so you can just type it in real quick? And I will literally use their phone to set it up, or give them my phone, like my iPad, whatever, and wait while they do it. Because usually it just takes a few seconds for them to type it out. It doesn't have to be some long epitaph. A lot of people think they have to write this, crazy long thing, or something has to have all the exact right words, but it really doesn't. It just has to be, hey, I thought you were great, and here's my name, and that's it. So I hope this has been helpful for you. If you have any other questions, please feel free to reach out. And if you have any other requests for videos, I'd love to do them for you. Thank you.